Police have arrested a suspect in connection with the lawsuit on 4 Hong Kong journalists at the site of a pro-government rally. Well, police say that more arrests are expected as the investigation continues. Over the past few days, violence has been on the rise as the Occupy movement sees little sign of letting up. Han Peng reports.
In what the Hong Kong Journalists Association calls a barbaric and unacceptable attack, 4 journalists were assaulted on Saturday evening by a group of anti-Occupy Central protesters in the middle of their coverage. The public is outraged, saying that this is not just about the personal safety of individual reporters, but is a blunt violation of the freedom of press. While violence against the press must be condemned, some anti-Occupy Central protesters also expressed to us their resentment over what they believe to be unfair and biased coverage by some Hong Kong media.
In many cases, it's the media that seems to be on the front line of inciting the illegal occupation. Some media have already taken sides before their coverage. They are not speaking the truth of public opinion.
This amateur video, which CCTV cannot independently verify, appears to show a journalist with cable TV, one of the most influential media in Hong Kong, engaged in selling pro-Occupy Central souvenirs at a major gathering site. But even if there is biased reporting, please say that it doesn't justify the violence against individuals. They pledge to handle the assault on journalists in accordance with the law.
This is an isolated case that does not represent the stance of a group. Now a police investigation is underway, and we call for the witnesses to provide valuable clues.
The Hong Kong Journalists Association says a total of 24 journalists have been assaulted since the Occupy Central protests started. There is also a media report about a mainland journalist being physically threatened during her interview. The reporter working with China News Agency found herself surrounded by a group of Occupy Central protesters as she was covering their occupation. The protesters forced her to delete all the footage she had obtained legally in her camera. Besides violence against reporters, protesters themselves are often seen on the street engaged in fierce arguments and sometimes physical violence between the two camps. In Mongkok, a group of peaceful pro-government residents showed up in front of the Occupy Central protesters holding large national flags of China. They were immediately surrounded by angry protesters who tried to take down the flags. In the ensuing scuffles, the flags fell underfoot. Some say that this has gone too far, as in China, disrespect for the national flag is widely seen as a sign of denying one's identity as a Chinese citizen.
Well, this nation's capital has the world's cheapest public transport system, but not for much longer. But transport officials in Beijing say they are going to raise ticket prices on the subway and buses after years of price capping. Currently, every subway journey in the city, however long or short, costs just 2 yuan. That's around 30 US cents. And now prices will be set according to the distance of each journey. Officials say the new fares will start at 2 or 3 yuan, with average fares likely to now be just around 4 yuan. So let's take a look at an extreme example. One of the longest journey in the capital is traveling east-west right across the city from one end of Line 1 to the other. That's about a 30-kilometer journey. That will set you back 9 yuan, and that's $1.50, nearly 5 times higher than the current price. If you take that journey to and from work for 20 days, say, each month, then your monthly commute will probably cost you 360 yuan. To counter the cost for daily commuters, there will be a new discount plan for the Beijing Superpass, which can save more than 100 yuan per month. That's 1/3 of the cost you normally pay. The way it works is that when your monthly fares come to more than 100 yuan, further fares are discounted at 20%. Once you pass 150, fares get even more discounted by 50%. Sound a little complicated?